He is a god of the game.
Olympics, the time when every top-notch athlete across the world gather together to display skill, courage, passion and respect has begun. And so does the 2 weeks of disappointment for us Indians. In this episode, we also discuss the India-Sri Lanka series, Milwaukee Bucks winning NBA after 50 years, and how are Indian women making us all proud in England and in Tokyo. Let's go! Welcome everyone to episode 19 of Sports Charcha, where we continue to discuss less football and more non-football. And to discuss that, we have our dear friend Ishan with us.
Hi guys, it's been a while, a little delayed, but so glad to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so Olympics has started. Yet another disappointing campaign for India so far. We are recording this on Wednesday, 28th July, around 10:15 p.m. So it's, I think, day 5 of Olympics have ended. Yeah. So we'll talk about Olympics later, but we'll start with the biggest thing in NBA. Milwaukee Bucks finally winning NBA championship after 50 years. Is Giannis Antetokounmpo the next big thing in NBA, Ishan?
Firstly, congratulations to the Milwaukee Bucks. Congratulations for Giannis, who was the NBA Finals MVP as well. He is not the next big thing. He's already a big thing. He is...
Agreed.
Yeah. He is a freak of nature, and what he actually did this time in the playoffs was take his legend up another level by actually delivering when it matters. And Game 6, he was the man. 48 points. Almost had a triple-double, did a double-double with the number of rebounds. Great performance. But I also want to give a big shout-out to Chris Middleton, who is literally the second hand, like one of the best right-hand mans you can have in a team. A total team player, has been with the Bucks for a long time, and it's so great to see him win a title. But I was disappointed with how the Suns performed in that game, because it was a must-win game. But it was all Bucks from the start. And I don't know, Bala, if you saw the game, but the final scoreline can be a little deceptive. It was close, but it was always the Bucks looking like they were going to win it.
Yeah.
And amazing, the celebrations, watching Giannis celebrate, because it was, in NBA, right, you're judged as, your path to becoming a GOAT in NBA is always judged by the number of rings you win. And that's one of the things where, LeBron James always falls short of a Michael Jordan, because he got about 6 rings. But, Giannis is now on that. He can be in the same conversation as that. Obviously, a long career ahead of him. He's still a young dude. Many more rings. You never know. He might be the GOAT that LeBron could never be considered to be. Amazing finals. I'm actually so happy that Bala started watching NBA with these finals, because it was a different, 2 very different teams. Nobody ever considered Bucks or Suns to ever do anything in the NBA. And so it was a great start for you as well. And yeah, excited for next season. Big moves going to happen next season.
And just to add a point, like Giannis scored 50 points, 14 rebounds and 5 blocks. So if I have to equate it in cricketing terms, I would say someone scoring a century and picking up like 3 wickets and taking 2 catches in a major finals. Will that be appropriate?
Yes.
Yeah. So
make that 5 catches, because a block is much harder than a catch. Yeah. But yeah, meaning it could, you could probably put it like it was a Ricky Ponting in a 2002 World Cup final performance. Yeah. Great performance. And there was one funny awkward moment that immediately after the finals, Chris Middleton and Devin Booker had to take the same flight to Tokyo to join the US Olympic team. Oh. So that would have been a pretty awkward trip, long haul flight for the both of them.
Great. I mean, once again, truly congratulations to Milwaukee to win a championship after 50 years. Hard luck to Phoenix. They fought well, but yeah, they fell short in the end. And one small feedback to Star Sports. I'm not sure whether any of those Star Sports or Hotstar guys are listening to this, but if you are, please add another 10-15 minutes to see the celebrations, because sports is all about that
I
emotions,
agree.
that celebrations. The feed got cut immediately after the final point was scored, the final whistle was blown.
Father,
It was very disappointing. I mean, I had to watch all the celebrations on YouTube probably 2-3 hours later. So, yeah, that's a small feedback
I
from.
think Bala, it's better than the last couple of years because the last couple of years the finals has only been in Hindi commentary.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so this year at least we had English commentary and and no celebration. I would much rather take the English commentary, but yeah, you're right. An NBA season is 82 games plus literally the playoff is another season in itself. The emotion behind winning it, you have to show it for fans. It's a big thing, and yeah, that's absolutely a bang on with that feedback. You have to show the celebration post winning a title.
Great. So that's about it for NBA, and I'm guessing the next season starts sometime in September, October. So totally looking
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
to that. Totally looking forward to the draft and everything. So yeah, I'm totally geared up to the next new season. We'll be going to follow it even more closer. All right, now moving on to the cricket action between India and Sri Lanka. Like, I mean, if I have said cricket action between India and Sri Lanka 10 years back, it's like it happens every other second month. But this one's a little special because, as we spoke last time, this is like a B team, a new team, a lot of youngsters, a lot of new talent going and trying to show what they can do in the big stage. The ODI series, India wrapped it up 2-1. The second game was especially a great one. India were once 116 for 5, chasing down 275, and then the most unlikely player, Deepak Chahar, scored 69 not out and won the game for India. That was probably the only great, exciting moment in this series so far. So the ODI series got done 2-1. The third game was more of a
Dead rubber.
dead rubber, but it had a historic significance. Apparently, there were 5 debutants for India in that game, and the last time it happened was back in 1980, like almost 40 years back. So Sri Lanka won that game. And T20 happened. India won it easily. The second T20, as we are speaking, it's happening right now. Again, oh god, very fun. I mean, it's not funny actually. Like Krunal Pandya got tested positive, and then pretty much the entire half of the Indian contingency were isolated. So whosoever were available were playing. There were even jokes that Rahul Dravid will come and pad up and start playing for India today. So yeah.
But Bala, I have a question for you. What has happened to Hardik Pandya?
Oh, it's very bad, man. He's going through one of those bad patches for a player. So you remember Irfan Pathan when he came in as a bowler. Then Greg Chappell found that he can bat also. He has this little bit of this batting thing that can capitalize.
Used to come one down and two down.
Yeah, which screwed up his bowling, and then eventually he became like a nothing player. He couldn't bowl well, he couldn't bat well, so he eventually lost his place in the team and eventually phased out. Hardik Pandya is facing that kind of a situation. Like he had an injury problem. I think he had a back issue which prevented him from bowling a lot. So he started playing as a pure batsman for for Mumbai Indians, and so in his head he is now confused whether he's a batsman or a bowler. And when the player gets into that zone, it will reflect on your performance on field, and it's getting very very disappointing to watch him play because he's one of the cleanest strikers of the ball. He's brilliant when he gets going, but he's just not getting it. Probably for some players, you might have to take your time off the game for a while and then come back. I don't know. Maybe the IPL.
Going down almost how going down the Pollard route. Like remember when early days of Mumbai Indians, Pollard was more of the clutch death bowler for Mumbai Indians and not and a slogger.
Yeah.
But then, as you know, in the at least last 3-4 seasons, we've barely seen him bowl. All he does is that because it adds longevity to his age, obviously, and his fitness. I think Hardik Pandya is also going through that phase right now, but at a much earlier stage in his career, where he probably now has to pick which one he wants to do. And obviously, with his talent, we know his batting contribution is far more important to the team than the bowling. So I think he needs to make up his mind, and obviously, as I think you rightly said, he needs some time off.
Yeah.
either properly recover, because I'm not completely convinced he's fully healthy, and then come back into the game. IPL might, if by the way it happens in Dubai, might be a good, clean headspace for him to just keep hitting the ball, no judgment.
Yeah.
But he's received a lot of hate on Twitter
Yeah.
due to his form of late, and that's sad. But you expect that from an Indian team. The pressure that they put
Yeah,
onto each other.
and also him being a medium pace or a medium pace all rounder is even more key for the balance for Indian T20 side. We have a spinner all rounder.
Yeah.
I mean, Jaddu is fixed. There is no question that he is not going to get a place. So that one slot where you can have a medium pace bowling all rounder, that's where Hardik Pandya slots in, and unfortunately we don't have a player there. I mean, Deepak Chahar can swing his bat. He can play one or two knocks here and there, but he's not an Hardik Pandya. He's not going to score 40 of 20 balls. That's not going to happen. So yeah, that's going on. The current match, Sri Lanka are chasing 132 in 20 overs. They are 44 for 2 now in 8.1 overs. So we don't know how is that going to turn up. So we'll see. And once this series is over, I think the next is IPL. And the T20 World Cup is sometime in October or November. Actually, I don't know when it is. September, right? T20 World Cup.
September, mid-September.
Oh, okay. So maybe after this, it's the T20 World Cup. But then India will be playing England. I think that's starting next weekend maybe. So yeah, that will be great. Talking about cricket happening in England, we talked about the new baby of cricket, the 100, which got off to a great start actually. I was a little skeptical, but then it was good. The games were really good, really exciting, and there was nothing much change. I mean, the changes in basically in terms of the number of balls per over and how often you change the bowler actually. But otherwise, the rules are pretty much the same. There's not much of a difference in terms of viewing experience of a cricket game. So the only difference is, right?
But then it cuts down the match time by about a good hour, right?
Yes, and also, see what happens is, so the over is technically, I mean, it's not an over actually, it's a 10 ball phase. So the 10 ball, after the first 5 balls, the bowling team can change the bowler. But the batsmen won't, the batters won't change their position. The ends won't change. The ends change only after 10 deliveries.
Okay. But so one bowler can bowl 10 balls as well.
Exactly. One bowler can bowl 10 balls. Or if you want to change the bowler after the 5th delivery, you can change. But the batters will switch positions only. The ends will change only after 10 deliveries.
Got it. Okay.
So that's the only major change. Baki sab chota mota, so it's not much of a change.
What about that wild card thing you were talking about last time?
Like, the wild card is that they show a white card after 5 deliveries. That's an indication to the bowling captain that you can change the bowler right now. If you want, you can change the bowler right now. So it's an option for them to do that. But other than that, as I said, nothing much. But what's more interesting to see is how Indian women are performing there. Some excellent performances. Jemima Rodriguez, star, like she's killing it, like literally killing it. We have Shafali Verma doing good. Smriti Mandana played a couple of good knocks. Harmanpreet Kaur is good, but she's coming down the order. She's playing number 4 or 5, so she's doing whatever she can. So there are 5 Indian women playing there, so that's pretty good to watch. I mean, I'm watching women's cricket more than men's cricket here because our girls are playing, so it was great to watch them play.
And the good thing is it's 5 of our best.
Yeah, they are the 5 best we have. So amazing. So guys, if you get a chance, watch. And then, as Ishan pointed out, the games are pretty quick. It's ending pretty fast. You don't have to spend 3-4 hours to watch a game. It's getting over pretty quickly. So it's great. So 100 is going pretty well. So that's a good thing. A new format in cricket, new exciting format. Hopefully someone like Lalit Modi might steal it and make it another thing in India. Hopefully this stays in England.
Exo. In India. PLF presents Exo.
See, you heard it here, guys. You heard it here first. Great. Now, we were just talking about how Indian women performing really well, Indian players performing really well in England, but another set of Indian performances happening in Tokyo, which are not as great. I mean, I am disappointed as a fan. I'm talking about Olympics, guys. Olympics started last Friday. a spectacular opening ceremony, a bit longer, a lengthy one, but yeah, it was still spectacular. But we started off brilliant. We won a silver. Mirabai Chanu won the 49 kilogram weightlifting silver, which could turn into a gold.
Become
There
a gold.
is, yeah, it could. There's a slight controversy on the Chinese weightlifter who won the gold, that she might have been consuming banned substances. So we don't know that. Well, if it happens, then yeah, we get a gold. But apart from that, pretty disappointing performance, especially shooting and table tennis have received some really awful feedbacks. I mean, the blame game has started actually. People have started pointing fingers. It's a little. It's
So I'll
getting,
tell you about shooting. I was reading up on shooting, right? So the Rio Olympics was a big slap in the face for our shooting contingent, because shooting has always, other than probably wrestling and boxing, has always been our strength, where we at least guarantee a couple of medals. And post the Rio debacle, the Olympic Committee in India spent about 80-90 crores on investing on development of shooting, and obviously paying the performer participant much better than what they used to, incentivizing them to practice and become better. So this time there was a lot of pressure on our shooting contingent, and I was personally very disappointed, because it was not like we were knocked out just before a medal round. We didn't even make it past the group stages for most of them, and that was something of a shocker for me, because shooting and India have always been like hand in hand. So yeah, but overall, I think table tennis. We had our first table tennis victory since 1982. One match, not a medal. Let me correct. So you can see we have not been the best at table tennis. Obviously, they should give me a tryout. I can do something in table tennis. But what do you think overall about the Olympics, Bala? Like, Japan are now, who would have thought, they're one of the top medal winners this year. Obviously, USA is up there. Then Russia slyly taking part as the Olympic Committee.
yeah, ROC.
They are in the top 5.
Yeah.
But I don't know, there's a bit of a lull to this Olympics. Do you think it's because of COVID and the lack of crowds, etc.?
Definitely. COVID, the lack of crowd, definitely. But also, just add to another point, the real Olympics, the real excitement of Olympics begin when the track and field event starts, which is starting on, I think, Sunday or Monday. I think Sunday it's starting, if I'm not wrong. So when the track and field starts, that's when the whole focus will come back to Olympics. And that's where you will see US leapfrogging everyone, because they are amazing in track and field. So as of now, I think US is in third, I believe, second or third, I believe. Japan is first, as you said. But yeah, US will definitely reach, will gain more medals once the track and field starts. And India also have a lot of good hopes in the track and field event. So we have Neeraj Chopra, an ace javelin thrower, so he is there. And also in individual categories, Sindhu, one of our main hopes, she is still there. Mary Kom is still there. Two other pugilists, Lovelina and Pooja Rani, are one win away from a confirmed medal in boxing. Deepika Kumari have reached the pre-quarter finals in archery. So there is still hope. And from an overall performance point of view, I would say disappointing. But I would also say that there was a lot of hype also in terms of how the strength of our Indian contingency this time. Yes, we sent more people. Yes, we expected a bit more of a performance. But yeah, overall disappointing. But we'll probably win. I'm guessing we'll probably win at least 3 or 4 more medals, but not more than that. Hockey, there is still some hope. At least in the semi-finals.
That's what I was getting at. Like, the first game against Australia, I saw it. And, it's one sport where I support India over Australia. And we were absolutely demolished. Yes, we are no longer the same hockey nation we used to be. But still, you can't be losing 7-0, man. Like, that's not happening.
It was proper boys versus men.
Yeah.
Like, Australia was so good. Oh, God. They was amazing. Indians could do. And also, they went with a very defensive mindset. I don't know. It wasn't a great watch also, but yeah. Anyways, they are second in the group, so they have all the chance to qualify. Tomorrow they have their game against, I think, Argentina.
Yeah.
If they win that game, confirm quarterfinals berth.
Yeah.
So all the best to the Indian team, and we have quite a few events tomorrow also. So great. Hopefully, we'll by the next episode we record, we'll have at least one or two more medals to show.
I think a quick wrap up.
Hopefully.
I think Bala, just before we move on to other outside the Olympics, quick wrap up of what else has been happening in the Olympics. Simone Biles, who's probably the goat of gymnastics, officially backed out of the team event due to mental health issues. Obviously, there's weather has played a big role in a lot of problems this time. If you look at the tennis, every player has probably complained about the condition they are playing in. Naomi Osaka, who, by the way, for people who didn't know, is representing Japan, bowed out at a very early stage, second round. Kate Ledecky, who was probably the best, the golden girl of the American swimming team, didn't win the 100-meter freestyle, but she won the first ever 1500-meter freestyle race, and she was a gold medalist there. But obviously, US is dominating swimming either way. They won all the relays, everything. Football, you're seeing Spain being boring again, drawing matches, but still might make it to the knockouts. Petri is still playing football, not retired as yet. And Takefuso Kubo is the highest scorer in the Olympic Games, playing unbelievable football. He is probably the only player we have on form who's not named Benzema, coming back into the Madrid team. So I'm happy about that, since now we don't have a defense. So I think we just need to score more goals.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that was a quick roundup of the Olympics.
Just rounding of the football talk for the women's football, US women's
Sorry,
national.
Bala.
Yeah.
1 minute before. American basketball team is playing really badly.
Yeah.
They are obviously the strongest team in the world because of their NBA lineage. After the 92 Olympics was the first time the NBA players were given the right to play Olympics. So after that, they've never lost. Basically, they won every gold medal. They started off with 3 losses in the warm-up games and then lost to France in their first game. I think they beat Saudi Arabia or some team by 60 points today.
Iran.
But Iran. I don't know about OFAC rules, but they beat Iran. But so yeah, they might still win a medal. So yeah, sorry Bala to
No problem. Yeah, I'm saying US women's national team, US soccer women's national team, they lost their first game against Sweden, and they had like a 44-game unbeaten run. So that was broken by Sweden, and they lost their first game. But they came back and won the next 2 games, so they are qualified for the quarterfinals, and they will be playing Netherlands. So it will be a repeat of the World Cup finals. And Netherlands is in mind-blowing form. They have scored 22 goals in 3 games. So there's been a 10-3, there's been an 8-3.
A point to note is that unlike men's football, the women's football can play full-strength teams.
Yeah. So men's football, there is an age gap. So under 23, but they can have 3 overage players. So for Brazil, Dani Alves is playing, and for France, there is an old player. I forgot his name. He is playing. So yeah.
Gignac.
Yeah.
Jean-Pierre
Gignac. Yes, he scored a hat-trick. Yeah. So that's about Olympics, guys. It'll go on for another 12 days. Sorry, another 8-9 days. So hopefully we'll see more action, and track and field is starting on Friday. That's about all the major sporting action, on-field sporting action. But when it comes to football, it's a transfer season, so there is more action on off-field. And Manchester United are making the biggest noise when it comes to this season's transfer. They already announced Jadon Sancho, and to add to that, they have announced Rafael Varane. I mean, it's confirmed. They have announced Rafael Varane, but he hasn't been signed yet. But it's been official. It's been confirmed. Yeah. So, I mean, Ishan, you have to say that they have increased the chances of becoming or putting their name into the title contenders this season.
The only reason I still won't put them into the title contenders race is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. They've got a really good team now. Obviously, I think if you look at defensive duos, a Varane-Maguire partnership is right up there potentially with say, Van Dijk, Gomez, or what's it called, the Stones and what's the other guy names?
Ruben
Ruben
Diaz.
Diaz, which is literally the best pairing. So it's going to be defensively, United were anyway very solid with, and also we saw Shaw coming of age in the Euros. All a lot of bonus pluses for United. It's all going in the right direction, but we'll wait and see what happens. But for Real Madrid, it's a huge loss. We've literally in once this season, beginning of the season, we've lost our main core centre back pairing that won us everything in the last say 7-8 years. It's going to be impossible to replace that, and the sad part is that we don't have the money to replace it as well. Perez has but probably there were rumors that he's announced to his board that Real Madrid are not looking to make any signings this window. David Alaba came from Bayern Munich on a free, and he just tested positive for COVID today. So, yippee for that. So yeah, it's going to be a very strange season, especially in the Spanish league. All teams are struggling other than Atletico Madrid.
There's almost a major talent drain going out of Spain.
Yeah.
So we saw Ramos going out, we saw Varane going out, and I saw a news that Chelsea are lining up for Conde. So it's especially the defensive talent are going out of Spain. And if you see, also one thing I noticed that most of the signings that has happened this season were all defensive signings. We just covered Varane, we just covered Ramos. Jules Conde, Chelsea are lining up for Jules Conde. Sorry, who I want to... David Alaba.
Ben White.
David Alaba for Real Madrid. Ben White, who... I think the last tweet I saw, it's done from Fabrizio, but it's...
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, it's done. The clubs haven't officially confirmed, but Fabrizio have confirmed, so that's good enough for me. Tottenham, Alderweireld is out. He has joined a Qatar club. I forgot the name. Al something. And they are lining up to sign Christian Romero from Atlanta, the Argentinian defender.
Oh, wow.
That will be a fantastic signing. If they manage to pull that off, that will be a brilliant signing. So there is a lot of defensive players moving across Europe. So pretty interesting to see how teams will be lined up.
Bala, do you think that's a strategy, or do you think that forwards are just not affordable in today's time?
Which is very, very interesting observation. Forwards, they are not very much affordable, and also that's the whole point. They are not affordable. Like Mbappe, not affordable, and he doesn't want to go anywhere other than Real Madrid. There is Haaland. He will be affordable next season. This season, I don't think Chelsea wanted to sign him, but I don't think they are placing a bid for him yet.
Haaland yesterday, in fact, in an interview himself said, I cannot imagine myself to be worth 175 million. So I don't want to talk about it. No player should be worth that much.
Hey, look at the forward signing, right? Sergio Aguero, free. 34-year-old. Memphis Depay, free. Giroud has gone to AC Milan from Chelsea. Again, a 30 plus year old player. Which other forwards have moved on? Like all these old players are moving on. The only two forwards that can happen is Kane to City and Grealish to City. Yes, Sancho to United happened, but yeah, as we said, the big clubs are trying to make the most of the season because of the relaxation and financial fair play. So you will probably see at least 2 or 3 big money signings within the end of this transfer period. Also, Champions League, Europa Conference League qualifications have actually started. So the season has technically started. The official season has technically started. Clubs from Scotland and all the other countries have already started playing.
No managerial changes.
Managerial changes, nothing new. After what we spoke, I believe, nothing new has happened after that. Lamela, finally, he has moved out of Spurs. So he has gone to Sevilla. There's a swap. So they have signed a winger from Sevilla called Brian Gill. Very, very exciting young talent. He's about 20 years old, so hopefully we'll get to see more of him. So those are the transfers that have been happening. Liverpool haven't made any major signings. After Konate, nothing has happened. They've in fact sold 2-3 players. And Shaqiri wants to move, so Shaqiri could be moving. So we'll see.
Another update I have is Christian Eriksen might not be able to play for
Yeah.
Inter Milan because the Serie A has clearly stated that anyone with a pacemaker or a heart problem
Defibrillator.
cannot play in the
Yeah.
Serie A. Yeah,
Yeah.
defibrillator. I can't say it. Defibrillator.
Defibrillator.
Yeah. Shut up. You said it worse. But yeah, it's going to be interesting and also sad because he'll probably have to move somewhere where he might not want to go. So yeah, that's going to be another move. There's a strange rumor about Lautaro Martinez to Arsenal, which I never in my life can see happening. I don't know how Arsenal are making big moves in the transfer market with no Europe, but yeah, that's what's happening. Odegaard might go back
Yeah.
to Arsenal as well, because I don't know if he fits in on Ancelotti's plan. So yeah, we need not too many dramatic moves, but I think that will also happen as we move closer to the season starting. There's going to be a lot of last minute transfers. Obviously, with City, Milwaukee, if they make moves for Kane and Grealish, as you said, you'll see knee-jerk reactions happening from Tottenham as well as a result. So it might be a lot of trickle-down transfers at the end.
So yes, guys. So that's about it from us for this week. By the time when we come back for next week, we'll have more Olympics updates and more football transfers and more cricket news, the India Sri Lanka series and the 100. So that's about it from us for this week. So until next week, it's bye from Bala.
Bye guys. Bye from Ishan. Take care. See you next week.
Thank you everyone for listening. If you enjoyed what you heard, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also please, like they're literally begging, to rate our podcast on whichever app you're listening to. It not only helps us, but also new listeners to easily find our podcast. You can also reach out to us on Twitter @SportsCharcha. A big shout out to the Jam Room Audio for our theme music. You can follow the Jam Room on Facebook @the Jam Room Audio. Bye.